So you might be wondering, who is Clear Channel? So we are one of the largest out-of-home companies in the world. We have just under 1 million screens across the world, of which about 17,000 of those are digital. We're in 4 continents. If you squint very carefully at that map, you'll see a little ring around Singapore, so that's how we get into the 4th continent there, and 21 countries. In Europe, we have about 400,000 screens, of which are in a variety of different environments, including transit hubs, airports, points of sale, shopping centres, and street furniture. So a pretty diverse portfolio of outdoor advertising assets. What you might not realize about us is that at our core, we are an infrastructure company. So while our commercial business is about selling advertising and helping brands reach their message to large numbers of people, actually most of what we do is building out infrastructure. So all of those bus shelters, toilets, bins, pieces of city infrastructure are entirely built and maintained by companies like Clear Channel. And that's a really important part of our mission. So although we do sell advertising, without that infrastructure, our advertising business wouldn't exist. And by extension, without the advertising business, we wouldn't be able to fund the infrastructure. So the two are very closely interlinked. And that's something that is a big part of the way that we try to service. And we talk about this in terms of being a platform for brands, but also a platform for good. So we like to think that we're bringing good things to cities and kind of helping the environments in which we live. So we'll talk a bit more about being a platform for good shortly. So we'll start by showing you why we're a platform for brands. The main things that we like to talk about in terms of the benefits of out-of-home advertising are the reach. So we reach approximately 90% of adults. We deliver significant campaign performance, and we provide a very large creative canvas. And that large format in kind of iconic locations is a really important part of the really important reason why advertisers like to use out-of-home. So looking at these in turn. So in terms of the broadcast media, out-of-home is actually the largest of the media channels, so reaching about 95% of adults per week. And of that, about 83% of that comes from our digital out-of-home assets. So you've probably all seen digital out-of-home. A large number of those assets can reach adults across the country as well. It's also, if I'm doing this wrong, it's also a performance channel. So we typically exist at the kind of brand consideration stage of advertising, and out-of-home has been shown to deliver nearly 2.5 times increase in brand consideration among people viewing out-of-home ads. It's also able to help improve the performance of other channels. So we've seen that if you run an out-of-home campaign, your other advertising campaigns tend to work better. There's a sort of priming effect that you get from out-of-home that makes people more likely to click on search links particularly, but also interact with social ads or TV ads or radio. And a lot of that is to do with this kind of public nature of out-of-home. So because our ads exist in the public space, people tend to trust them more. This is a bit of an aspirational quote, which is, well, trust in a brand is more important than ever. People sometimes say you can't tell lies in public. Obviously, you can tell lies in public, but generally people feel that if an advertising message is put in a public space, that you're less likely to be able to make a false claim because everybody can see it. And so generally out-of-home is seen as a way of giving legitimacy to a lot of brands. So if you're a small brand, especially if you've kind of started in the online space, you've grown kind of very organically through social referrals and channels such as that, putting up an out-of-home ad is a way of kind of establishing that you are a real brand, especially if you don't have kind of traditional brick and mortar stores. So we tend to be quite a trusted medium.